doing, guys? Thanks for coming by today. Thanks for having a look at this video. Basically what we'll be doing here is we'll be looking at my AR-15 and how I have it set up for what I like to do with it. A lot of people who saw the video that I posted last week called Vehicle Drills commented that a lot of the three weapons that we were running in there looked very, very different. And that's true. All three of us are experienced shooters, and we all have certain things that we like, and we've all set up our weapons for what we want them to do as individuals. So one of the guys in the video, Airborne Pathogen, has already posted a video on his channel. He posted about 6 hours ago. That really in-depth video that shows everything he's got on his weapon. And this is basically what I'll be doing here as well. I'll be looking at my weapon system, what I have on it, why I chose to go with that particular part or piece. And then the third guy in that video, Medince, I believe, will be putting up his video here within the next couple of days. And also just a quick plug to throw out another guy that wasn't there in that video, but that we do train with all the time, who's kind of the voice of reason for everything that we do as far as firearms purchases and stuff like that. Very, very experienced, licensed gunsmith, very, very good pistol trainer as well. You can check out his channel at Tango Down Production. So have a look at that as well. So that being said, let's get started and let's have a look at this AR-15. Let me just talk for a split second about firearm safety. One of the biggest things in firearm safety being, of course, how you store your weapons. I have a 2.5-year-old son in the house, so I have to be very, very careful about how I store my weapons, making sure that he can't get a hold of them. And then on top of that, even though this is stored in the case in a safe, I also have these little locks that I put on all the cases as well. These locks are really cheap. They're about 99 cents. They are not going to stop a criminal by any stretch of the mind. However, they will stop my son should he, through some unexplainable series of events, get a hold of the case. He's not going to be able to get into it just because of that little lock. So just make sure that you maintain a responsibility as firearms owners. Every time we have a firearms incident where something happens that wasn't supposed to happen, somebody gets hurt, it gives the liberal community just one more piece of ammunition to come after us as gun owners. So let's not give them that. Okay. All right, moving right along. Here you have my AR-15. This is the weapon system that I was running in that video that a lot of you guys asked about. Once again, thanks for asking. Especially only Zippo specifically commented wanting to know what I was running on it. All three of the guys in that video are running distinctively different AR-15s. Main reason being is that they're all set up specifically for the individual shooter that runs that weapon. It's kind of the beauty of the AR-15 is you can customize it to do and to be whatever you need it to be effective for you as a shooter. This and the AK-47 are about the most customizable weapon systems out there. Really, really big fan. All right, starting at the front of the weapon, what you see here is a Vortex flash compensator. Really like this compensator. I find that it gives it just a little bit of added stability. Not that the AR-15 is unstable. It's a very, very stable weapon system. Tends not to jump around or move at all while you're firing. But this flash compensator just helps it out just a little bit. Moving back, as you can see, I still have the A2 front sight on there. I have no issues with this front sight. A lot of guys like to swap the gas block out and put a flip-up front sight on there. I really don't see that being an issue for me. Swing swivel mount there. I like to run a 2-point sling. I'm not a big fan of single-point slings just because of my style. I move around a lot, kind of the way I was trained, moving back and forth between various covered positions and running and so on and so forth. I like the 2-point sling. LaRue Tactics rail system here. A lot of people knock LaRue because they tend to build heavier products, but the thing I love about those heavier products is that they are just unbeatable as far as durability goes. You cannot break these things. This is just a slight bit heavier than some of the other rail systems you'll find out there, but the difference is pretty negotiable. I don't even really notice it running the weapon. Running the Magpul angled foregrip. Basically, the reason I went with this foregrip is simple ergonomics. The way I hold the weapon, I have more of a C-clamp grip on the fore end of the weapon, and so this angled foregrip really helps with that, keeping the weapon stable and preventing muscle fatigue from gripping the weapon that way. A lot of guys like these broom-handled foregrips and so on, and there's nothing wrong with those. Just me personally, I find I'm less accurate with those, and I don't have quite as sure a grip on the weapon with those systems. So I went with the Magpul. Also, great thing about that is it transforms my grip into this kind of cool deal where my thumb is right by my flashlight, so I can turn on and off my flashlight as necessary with ease without having to move my hand away from the weapon. Running a Surefire light. I love Surefire lights. I've been carrying them for years. Got my first Surefire light issued to me in the military, and have been using them ever since. Big fan. Simple Viking Tactics flashlight mount. Don't really need anything frilly or expensive with that. I mean, it doesn't have to stand up to a whole lot of abuse because I'm very careful with my weapons, so not an issue there. Moving on back, this is the Primary Arms M3 optic. It's very comparable to the Aimpoint Comp M2 that the military uses. It functions exactly the same way, the same adjustment style, the same power system, and it also will accept the same batteries of the Comp M2 as well. Moving on back, got the Magpul M-Bus rear sight. Really easy to deploy. They got these little tabs on either side of the sight. You just tap the tab and it pops right up. You can also deploy it from the top as well. Just simply push down on it and it pops right up. Really great rear sight. The upper on this weapon is made by LMT. The lower is made by Superior Arms. This is actually Generation 1 Superior Arms lower. The downside of that is that the Magpul PMags with the window will not fit inside this lower. Kind of an interesting little situation that we discovered. The Magpul PMags without the window do, however, fit just fine, which is what I run with it. I'm a big fan of the PMags. They're a fantastic improvement over the standard GI mag. DPMS lower parts kit as well. Then down here I have the Magpul Enhanced Trigger Guard. A lot of guys buy this, because it helps you use the weapon system with gloves without having to punch that pin out and fold the trigger guard down. Me personally, I'm not concerned about that. In the Army right now, we're not deploying anywhere that's really all that cold. And also, I live in Colorado, so for daily use and training and so on and so forth, really not that concerned about the big gloves. The reason I love this piece is it takes care of one issue I always had with the M4 in the military. The standard M4 trigger guard stops at the roll pin right here, so it leaves a gap right back here. Now when you're carrying it, your finger, if you grip it like I do, your finger is pressed up against there. And while you're carrying the weapon, you're moving and grooving, that'll cause some chafing issues on the inside of your finger. Really like this just because it takes care of that gap. Really inexpensive part, about $10, no big deal. But like I said, makes the weapon a little more user-friendly. And moving on down, Magpul MOE pistol grip. Really like this pistol grip for a lot of reasons. Ergonomics being the most specific one. It takes away that little finger groove tang they had in here that I didn't really care for on the standard A2 pistol grip. And also this extended tang back here kind of helps prevent the hand from riding so far up on the lower receiver. Really like that. And also, I mean, kind of a simple thing, but little storage compartment in the base of all the MOE pistol grips. Really great for storing extra batteries for your flashlight or for your optic. Moving on back, just the standard M4 style buttstock. Mine is a Rock River Arms. Really, you can get these in many different brands around. Really not a big deal. So that in a nutshell is my M4. And if I could keep your attention for just one moment, we'll talk about something else real quick before I let you go. All right, guys, one more thing before I let you go. Train with your weapons. Train with your weapons. Train with your weapons. Do you own a weapon? Train with it. Okay? You can own all the firearms in the world, but if you are not trained, capable, and proficient with those weapons, they're of no use to you, and you're of no use in a live fire combat situation. Okay? That's the same is true for military members, concealed carry holders, everybody. If you use a firearm in your daily life, or you plan to use a firearm in an oh crap situation, train with it. Okay? I got a friend who's got tens of thousands of dollars of firearms. Never spent a dime training with them. Well, that's really not of any use. Sorry. He's got a beautiful collection. But you got to get out there. You got to run the gun. You got to know the weapon like it's a part of your own body. Okay? That's exactly what we were doing the day we shot that vehicle drills video. But honestly, we were just out there training. So moving on from there, get out there. Surround yourself with professionals, with people who are better shooters than you. That's just the way it goes. There's always somebody out there who's a better shooter than you. So find that person, spend time with them, train, run your guns. Okay, if you have the money to take some of the great courses that are available from Magpul and other organizations, take those courses. Okay, you'll always learn something. I promise you, you always learn something. If you don't have that kind of money, get out there, buy a couple sheets of plywood, some 2x4s, build yourself some target frames, barricade, things like that, like you saw in our video. And get out there and train. Get out there with some guys that are willing to do the hard work, that are willing to get out there and get things done. Okay. Once again, in a live fire situation, you can have a $10,000 weapon, but if you don't know how to use it, it's no good. All right. So once again, guys, thanks for coming by. Check out my channel, Wildlife 4. Also check out Tango Down Production, also another great channel. And check out Airborne Pathogen. He's another guy that trains with us. And thanks once again for coming by. Be safe out there. Use your firearms for what they're intended to. Don't give the liberal community any ammunition to try to take our guns away.